Welcome to Reunite with Self podcast. I'm your host, Rukan. Here, we will be discovering and unraveling what is truly holding you back. We will put the puzzle together and give you clarity on how and what you can do to create massive shift in your life so you start creating the life you always envisioned for yourself. There is no more waiting. Whether it is liberating from dysfunctional family patterns or parenting tools and tips that actually make the difference, we will be diving into the truth and core of things that are simple and which yet no one talks about. I will be sharing with you all the things that would have changed my life massively if I heard any one of these episodes. A new world is awakening, and true bliss, harmony, and peace is possible on this earth. And my mission is to bring you closer to that, one step at a time. In this safe space, I will hold your hand and give you courage and certainty that you can shift anything and everything in your life. It is time we break the pattern. Whether you want to be the parent you never had or make a shift in your life so you don't play small any longer, you will find the support and guidance in this space. My intention is for you to find answers within yourself while you listen to this podcast, so you feel the bliss of reuniting with your true essence, with self, with so much love and compassion and courage. From my heart to yours, let's keep it rockin'. My gorgeous listener, thank you for being here. I am so grateful that you are listening to this second part of 13 different narcissistic behavior in family. If you haven't listened, please go back to the part 1, the previous episode as well from last week. And we are continuing with the examples of behavior here. I'm going to start with the third one here, and we're going to cover a lot today. So I had a long intro on the first part where I explain what narcissism really is in family, what is narcissistic tendencies, how it might be manifesting in your family, and how it might be affecting your adult relationships as well. If you had, or let me put it the other way, if you have a narcissistic tendency behavior, people in your life, in your adult relationships, in your friendships, in your partnership, your romantic life, with your partners, or your work life, maybe your new family with your in-laws or anything, I know that you've had it in your early life, in your family. It all begins with the family, and we are all about ending it once and for all in your life. So we talk about the root reason of everything. So we have clarification, we have clarity, and then we can know what to do about it. This is the only way. Once you have the clarity, and then you know, then comes the what to do. It comes so much easier, and you have the commitment and the strength to follow through your journey. So please go back to the first part 1 from previous week if you haven't listened to it yet, or you can listen to this first and then go back to it as well. So let's begin with the third point here. Third narcissistic behavior in family example. Let's take a deep breath and let's begin. This is not easy stuff, but we are all about doing hard things here because we want to make a huge shift in your life so you start creating your incredible life today. So the third one. So the second one I was talking about from the previous episode, just to remind you, is that, they ask a question or say something like a comment when you share something about your life, what you're going to do, or how you've been experiencing something, what you think about something, a new action, a new decision you've made, something new you will start, big or small, and they raise fear in you. This is like so huge. A lot of people who have difficulty to begin something but not really succeed the way they want to. It all comes down to this family stuff where the parent or the parents create confusion, where there was clarity, or where they give you self-doubt, where you actually believed in yourself. You were clear, you were resilient, you were not doubting yourself. Like, we always have the capacity, the tendency to go to self-doubt and all of this. This is what makes us human. What narcissist does is play with that and manipulates and control and steal your energy and all of that stuff. So the third one is when they say something that hurts you, you express to them that what they've said hurt you, whatever it is, like a challenging emotion. I'm saying say because they usually do it by saying, like not doing something, but it's usually our communication is like talking. So it's usually they say something, but it's their facial expression, tone of voice, when they say, how they say it, like all of that stuff. So it doesn't have to be a big thing. Reminder. So when you tell them that what they've said hurt you or disappointed you or created confusion or just like did not make you feel good or whatever it is, their face is like, they're like surprised. Like they're so shocked that you felt that way. Because for a healthy person, they can empathize with you quickly, even if they make a mistake, even if they say something that was not necessary, that was not bringing anything to the table. It's not something that you did not think about or didn't come to your mind. Like, because if someone asks you a question or says something that brings, fear, 99% of the time, it's not because you haven't thought about it. It's because, yes, like there is these possibilities on this earth plane, like a gajillion, infinite possibilities on earth. But I am choosing to do this because I believe in it. This is how people succeed in anything in life, because there is infinite possibilities and we create our own possibilities with our state. So that's the I was talking about this on the previous episode. They steal from you what's your most precious thing, like what's your most precious tool, your state, your energy. That's like, there is nothing, it's irreplaceable. Like there is nothing that you can replace it with. There is nothing that's more important. Like it's the most important one. Not your intelligence, not your talent, not your whatever. It's your state. That's what keeps you focused, committed, devoted, certain when there is uncertainty going on, which is like part of life. Duh. And they pretend that they're thinking of you, blah, 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 whatever. But when what defines a narcissistic behavior and a healthy person is that when you tell them that what they've said hurt you, and it's usually something about your life, like your life, it has nothing to do with them. It is your life. So you are carrying that. You are living it, not them. Their face is like they're surprised. Their reaction is that you're making a big deal of it. These are just examples. It doesn't have to be any of them. It doesn't need to be all of them, because different characters, different strategies, whatever works for you. It's like the right way, the exact right way that will work for you. Because if it is something that is too exaggerated for your nature, it's not going to work. You're going to feel more confident that what they're saying is bullshit. So it has to be just the right way for your nature, your intelligence, and all of that stuff. Because there is always, like, as Tony Robbins says, like someone else said it, but he says this a lot. If you tell me you can't, if you tell me you can, and if you tell me you can't, that's like both true. So what the fuck? I'm sorry. Like, that's why what they're saying is, of course, it's because your experience, you are more susceptible to fear because it's your own experience. It's your own investment, commitment, devotion, decision, change, whatever it is. It can be a small habit too that you want to begin. So what they do does not make any sense. But the left brain, the logic, you can always find a logical reason. Oh, yeah, that's what they're doing it because they know that there's a possibility this way too. And there is this side of it. Like, fuck off. I'm sorry. I'm going to put this episode on explicit because I might curse a lot. I love cursing. It's just, I want to, that gives it more importance. Like, it's really, gives it more importance when I curse. It's like more clarity for you. So, and they pretend like you're making a big deal out of it. You're too sensitive. You misinterpreted like what they said. This one is really good. Oh my God, it's not really good, but it's not even good, but whatever. They do this a lot. They get angry for your reaction and they're like, just like, my intention is good. Like, if my intention is good, why are you telling me that what I said? Like, like as if someone with good intention cannot break someone's heart. Like, come on. Like, this stuff does not like make any sense. And it's just like so outrageous. Let's say fascinating. Let's use like positive words. It's really fascinating that we fall for it because we are programmed so much by the narcissistic behavior. Like, it's so common in the world. Narcissism in families, it's so common. Like, millions and millions, if not billions of people are going through it. It's either like someone is either a narcissist. I'm sorry, I coughed. It's either someone is a narcissist or they're like abused by a narcissistic person. It's like one of the above. Like, very rare that there is a healthy family with healthy, accountable parents and adults, or that the parents might have problems with narcissism, but there is like good leaders in the family with relatives who can hold space for the child or the child of the narcissist, like the adult child of the narcissist, whatever. So because they have a lot of shame, they do not, it's so challenging for them to acknowledge that they made a mistake, like what they said caused something in the other person. Like, it's human experience. We will all make mistakes. It's like, we can have the best intention for someone, but can we still not hurt them? Can we still not make a mistake? Like, can we not say something that might hurt them, or that doesn't serve them, or that's not aligned with them, or that doesn't serve their highest self, highest good? Like, of course we can, with the best of intentions. It has nothing to do with it. So they have so much shame that it even becomes more hurtful by the way they respond. I think it's like they did one mistake, but it becomes 100 when you get this reaction that, you should just focus on my intention. Like, I have good intention for, like, how dare you tell me that what I said, hurt you? Like, it's just, I've had this experience so many times, and now I'd be like F off. Like, what? Like, even your reaction tells me that what you did was really, really hurtful, like more than I acknowledge. Like, with your reaction, I see that I'm on the right track, bitch. Like, please. So let's be clear. when someone makes a mistake, I think it tells you more by the way they react. And by the way, like, a healthy person can get a little bit like feel too much guilt and cannot really like understand in the first moment. But usually like 90% of the time, a healthy person, what their reaction is like, they want to know. They're like open. They truly don't want to hurt you, because so if you tell them that you were hurt by what they said, they believe you. They're not asking you to question yourself. Narcissist people with narcissistic tendency, they make you question your intuition, your emotions, like your body. They make you question that, which is super, super, super dangerous. Like as a woman and as a man too, like I am supposed to be certain of my boundaries, like what's okay and what's not okay. I have to be certain of this. So why are you shocked if I make really dumb decisions in my adult life? If I have been raised by someone who has high narcissistic tendencies, of course I will. Like, it's just what's familiar to you. Of course, like that's a natural result. That's why, my gorgeous listener, I don't talk about your adult relationships, because if we focus on just there, we're lying to ourselves. That's not where the problem begins. We have to go to the root. Let's go to the root. Let's end it for once and for all. Like, no. Being able to say no, like you trusting yourself this time. And so, yeah, this is just, and the fourth one is they don't sincerely apologize. Someone with narcissistic tendency or personality disorder, whatever, like a narcissistic behavior person, they do not sincerely apologize. They might apologize at the end, like it usually takes a lot of effort to get an apology from a narcissist, a lot of effort, and which should not be necessary. Like a lot of effort should not be necessary. But this is all new to you if you've been raised by narcissistic people, if you have a lot of relatives around you that have narcissistic tendencies, if you don't have leaders around you that say, this is right, like this is not okay, to confirm to you, yes, like you're telling me you felt this towards this thing, that's not okay. And usually, like most of the time, narcissists don't apologize sincerely. If they do apologize, it might not be sincere. It might be in a way that you're too much or you're too little of something. So to just, whatever, like I'll just apologize, but I'm going to make you feel not worthy and not enough in the meantime. So yeah, it's not like a sincere, heart-opening, heart-connecting apology, because a true, sincere apology makes you feel really seen, heard, and safe and embraced, acknowledged that your boundaries are respected and all of that. So that's another sign. That's another narcissistic behavior, very common. And the fifth one is they dare to ask something or comment something about you, your life, a decision you made in front of other people. And there is no accountability. They know exactly what they're doing, what your wound is, what wound they're touching. They know exactly what they're doing. It might not seem that way. It doesn't seem that way to outsiders who are not highly sensitive, highly empathetic. This is the sad part. So that's why if we don't have leaders at that dinner table, leaders meaning adult leaders who are aligned, who are living out of true in a very authentic place, and they can truly see when someone, especially goes both ways, but an adult is, an older person is stealing energy from a younger person. It's truly very clear. It's very clear to me, and I'm sure I didn't even see what was happening in front of me in many, many occasions, although I'm very sensitive, I'm highly sensitive. But most of the time, I believe
if not all of the time, it's very clear to me when someone is stealing someone else's energy. And these are like subtle things by the way they do things and by the way they don't do something. So a narcissistic behavior is someone close to you or not that close to you in family. They're there to ask a question, which is not okay. Like, because you don't have that kind of closeness with them, and you don't have a conversation like that in a more intimate, like a whispering way. Like, you don't have one-on-one. You don't have that kind of really true, sincere connection with them. And instead, they dare to ask something or comment on something about your life, or maybe in even like a sarcastic way, put you on the spot. They know exactly what they're doing. And so when they sit at a dinner table, they make sure that, you know your place, which is like really fascinating. Let's call it really fascinating. So they do this in order to reign, and it's easier for you to just play small, but it won't be anymore. But it's easier for you to quiet down, be small, accommodate. So nod to things you don't want to nod to, smile at things, or laugh at jokes you don't want to laugh at, or listen to their BS, whatever, because they're the ones, they talk the most at the dinner table while you just, say things that is going to like get by because what's kind of like the average thing in your family. And yeah, it's just BS. So this is another narcissistic behavior in family. The sixth one is, it goes both ways, but if you are a man, because I've seen this so many times in families. So this one is, if you're a man, they know exactly how to make you feel not enough and not worthy. And they might do this a lot in front of other people. And they might not even talk directly to you while they are doing this. And I promise you, they know exactly what they're doing. Even if it's not consciously, it's the exact thing that they don't want to experience themselves, especially like in your situation, at your age, even at like that moment themselves either. They do it with subtitles. They might do it through other people. They might do it through talking about someone else to someone else. Talking about like praising someone. They don't do it. I'm not talking about like talking about something from the heart. You can differentiate this. Like, you can feel the energy at the table. If you are highly sensitive, you can feel exactly what they're doing. And a father might do this to their son a lot. A mother can steal energy from her son too. But usually a man to a man, like a father to a son, and a daughter as well, like 100%. But I just wanted to point out an experience that men goes through a lot. A man, like a father, would talk about someone else, how they would praise, or they would like mention things that really make you feel not enough. And this is not from the heart. Nothing is from the heart, what I'm mentioning here. So that might be an experience you've had and are having if you are a man or a woman, doesn't matter, both. Number 7, they cannot truly empathize. They are not able to feel empathy for you, depending on the person and the situation and their character. Sometimes the person is not able to empathize with you at all. Sometimes the person is not able to empathize with you in an area of your life, let's say career. They're never able to empathize with you. And just because of the way they make you feel in that area, other areas of your life are truly, deeply affected as well. Just know this, like, your marriage is affected by the way your father makes you feel about your work. 100%. They're all related. How they make you feel in one area is influencing another part of your area. And because it's indirect and it's hidden, it's even more challenging to understand. But we are here in this podcast to make this clarity for you, to bring this clarity for you. It's actually easy once you make that change, make that shift, make that decision, and have the clarity. So, or another example of a narcissist might be they're not able to empathize with you in given situations, especially if they're challenged by you. They're not able to empathize with you. Or they might be very competitive with you, which all narcissists are, by the way, competitive with you. They either want to put you down so that they feel superior, or if they're around your age or younger or whatever, they just like truly competitive and jealous. Which brings me to my eighth point. This is, they are super jealous and always competitive. This is just reality. I was going to say this sucks, but it's just the reality of it. So a parent example and someone else, maybe younger example. A parent is competitive. That's why they see life like that. They see life with comparison. They look outside to see themselves. This is the narcissistic way. That's why they love attention. They're doing everything for approval and all of that stuff. And if they're a parent, they never give you what they needed the most in their own journey and what they took from you. Even as a child, they took from you. The confirmation, validation, believing in them, empathizing. If they're feeling a challenging emotion, they make sure that you know it. If a narcissist puts an effort into something, they make sure everyone knows. Whereas someone with a lot of empathy and a highly sensitive person, they're usually the ones that smile the most, make it seem like it's super easy, while they're actually having most of the responsibility, the biggest stuff. They make it super easy because they know that there is nothing to gain from if you hurt people in the meantime, or just make it known from an egoic place that you've had a bad day. I'm not talking about sharing this in a vulnerable way. It's amazing with people that you have deep connection with, true connection with, but they just, when I say, they make sure that it's just that they put it on you. So they ask something in return from you. So you quiet down, you don't have any requests, you don't talk about your emotions, blah, 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 whatever it is. But this point is they're super jealous and always competitive. I've had experiences with people younger than me too, super jealous, super competitive, but they seem like they love you so much. They look up to you. Even it's extreme, they're in awe of you, almost like a fan, but they you just feel that it's very egoic, and in their eyes, you can see that they're so scared that something good is going to happen for you. They're super scared of that. Whenever you're telling a story at the table, the eyes are on you, the focus is on you. You can see in their face that they're it's super, it's really weird. Just, out of your universe. So that's why it's challenging to see that in family where it's supposed to be the safe place. They play it completely different. They are very, they're always comparing. So the ninth one, And this is related to the eighth one too. Like I would have the same experience that I just talked about with the same person in this one too. They don't value your labor and always looking at the results. So if they're like the fan one, and these ones usually look for validation a lot from outside. They do everything for approval from outside. They always compare. They live a very surfacey life. It's like, knock, knock, is there anyone inside? It's like you have a conversation with them, but you don't feel like there is no one inside, really. It's really fake. They're usually very fake. Which will bring me to my 10th one. But the 9th one is like they don't value your labor as a woman to woman as well, or like same sex. They don't value that you are putting so much effort into something, and they just see the result and they're like, oh my God, like how wonderful, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not saying in a way that makes you feel worthy. It's almost as if like they want to pull things from you, and they don't empathize with you, so they're not able to give you emotionally anything from you. They might seem like they give a lot, so they do everything for the approval of maybe the older ones in the family. They might like look like the good girl, the good guy, the good boy, the good girl. I had a hard time to say boy because I actually never had this experience with a man. It's usually women. So they play the good woman, the good girl, whatever. I call it girl because they're not even mature. So I can't even like call it a woman because it's like a small child, how they act. So they do everything for approval. They're super scared of you shining. They compare a lot. They seem as if they're really like in awe of you, but they're super curious, which is like opposite of family. They just want to get the information from you, like, you know, and so they're very comparing, and they don't value your labor, what you do. So they are not able to give anything back to you. It might seem as if they're a giver, but they, in a relationship where people do things just for confirmation, for validation, it turns out that that relationship is only for taking for them. So they only take. Even when they're giving you a compliment or giving you something, they're looking into your eyes to see what you're going to give them back. So they never give something away. They never give a compliment away, you know? It's not about the other person. For them when they give the compliment, it's so weird. This one is like, for me, this is the weirdest of them all. Like this is the weirdest. Like this is the darkest one for me, because it's like you can't have any conversation with them. It's like there is no one inside. And I will make a different episode just on this as well. So if you have any family members in this example, please DM me at Kevela. I would love to go deeper into this, because this one is really the weirdest of them all. And it's the weirdest because it's very difficult to navigate. People around you might not see it that way. Oh, they love you so much. You have a great relationship, blah, 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 because they're so fake. Which brings me to the 10th one. So fake ones, like always pretending, doing everything for the approval from outside. And they do this so much. Like, oh, we're so happy. Oh, everything is so amazing. We're so great. Like, what? Like, I'm not talking about someone having a wonderful moment. Like, I'm not talking about the sincere, true gratitude and sharing of that. Of course, I love that. I'm not talking about this. This is like very surfacey, very like they're not trying to see how the other one is feeling. They just put a label to it. They want everyone to be whatever, and it's just pretending. So this is the fake narcissist, and I think I've never witnessed a man having this one. This is usually a female. The fake one, the fake narcissist, they do everything for confirmation. It seems as if they're giving, but it's always to get something back, of approval, confirmation, validation. It's like there is no boundaries with them. They want everything. So it's like very in meshed relationship. So they tend to want that from their partners too. Enmeshed, I believe it's what it is. And they want the same from you if you are one of their targets, which seems as if they are your fan, like they are so in awe of you, you are whatever, like blah, blah, blah. But they do it like, you know, how you would be a fan of a celebrity. There is no true connection. It's very egoic. They just see you like an object. So you don't have true feelings. When you ask for what you need, they're not really able to understand. They're always looking for information, very curious, very surface level. And yeah, this is like the weirdest of them all. So the 11th one is they show empathy, curiosity, respect, non-assumption, support, interest, tolerance. You're like, where is she going? To third parties. This is a very common thing for people with narcissistic tendencies. They show everything that they never give you truly to third parties. Someone sits at the table, you just met, or you're not that like close to them, they're not that close to them. They show empathy to them. They show curiosity in the conversation. They show respect. They respect them. They know that they don't need their evaluation or advice or criticizing. They have non-assumption for the person. So they don't assume that they're this or that, you know. They have a lot of assumption for you. They give support. They know what the other person needs in that moment. In a certain moment like that, they know what the other person needs. So it's obvious that they know what a person needs, what would make them feel better about themselves, but it's like very surfacey for them. So they just give it to the third parties, but they never do it for their closest ones. The closest you are, the less they give it to you. So just think of a family relationship. The closest you are, it's really difficult for them to give that to you if you are closest. They show interest. They ask questions to the third party, to the new people. They show tolerance, all of that stuff. This is a very common thing for people with narcissistic tendencies in family. So the 12th one is, in the relationship, you always feel like you are giving. So I'm talking about emotional. You don't feel, after you leave that conversation or that meal, you don't feel pumped up, like, you don't feel like in a high, great state, I can conquer the world, I can do whatever I like. You don't feel that really high peak state when you feel the conversation with them, when you feel the room with them, when you feel that meal. There is always something missing after that meal. So you can follow your emotions like this, whether it's someone close to you or not that close to you in family. There is something always missing after that meal. So it's that hope that you go to that meal, but it's this disappointment you leave with, but you always put it under the rug. You don't have high expectations from them. Anyways, it's like both. Like you go there with hope, feeling that, okay, like this is going to be a safe moment, a connecting moment. This is family. Like you just project whatever you see as family to the thing. But then when you leave, it's like something is missing. You need to get your energy back again. You need some time. You need some alone time. You need some time without them to come back, to expose yourself to other things so you come back to your energy again. So the 13th one is, we are at the end of the episode. The 13th narcissistic behavior example is, this is like super, 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 super common, if not all of them. For a narcissistic tendency person, for a narcissistic tendency person, they are not humbly owning their emotions. They don't face or befriend their dark side, and they never show true, real vulnerability without playing the victim, by the way, because playing a victim is something for some characters with the narcissistic tendencies. They can never show true, real vulnerability. And that, like I said, they make you feel whatever they are most scared of feeling. And by the way, their shadow is feeling that emotion all the time. And because they never face their darkness, they never have the interest to heal themselves, heal the inner child. They're not like that kind of person that, gets devoted to their spiritual healing. Because in order to be able to really go to these holistic healing sessions in a committed way, they might go to therapy once and there, a couple of times. I'm not talking about this, like really being committed to face yourself, face your shadow, face your wounds and all of that. They are not interested in that. Like their life is not about that. And they can really, I've seen that with like regular therapy, they can really hide their narcissism. Like therapists, psychologists, whatever, they're not even able to see the narcissism in them. They're very good at hiding that because they have other parts of them. So they are able to navigate the conversation in a way where they show their own worries and empathizing, blah, blah, blah. The person who is treating them needs to be super, super good and very highly sensitive, by the way, like truly highly sensitive, and needs to be really educated in narcissism. And this stuff that we talk about is, I promise you, even therapists don't know yet, psychologists, psychiatrists, like the whole world is like going through this darkness, and it's time we draw a line in the sand for ourselves, in our families, and make a change so that it doesn't go, that wound does not go to the next generation. So we make a pause, like we end this. And I will be creating parenting episodes as well, so that if we are the abused one, if we were abused by a narcissist, so we make sure that one, we are not raising another narcissist because of our wounds, because it might, we might want to do the total opposite, which is very harmful for the child, actually, when we act from our wounded self. I've done a couple of episodes on this. Please go back to listen to them if you're interested, but I'll be doing more in-depth parenting ones as well. I think I did one with for teenager parents. That was absolutely wonderful. Please go back to that if you are a parent or want to be a parent one day, and not raising kids from a wounded self. That's wonderful as well. So this concludes our episode. These are the 13 different narcissistic behavior in family. I hope I have pointed out to some things that were like a confirmation to you, and also for you to realize, oh, that's why I feel this way with this person. That's why I feel like something is off with this person. They might have a narcissistic tendency, but I wasn't aware of it. I didn't know that was the problem. So I leave you with this. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so proud of you. I send you so much love, and see you next week.
My gorgeous listener, if you had any takeaways from this episode or from this podcast in general, I would love to know. Please share this episode with a few loved ones right now. You never know how they can benefit from something so small. And please take a screenshot of this episode and share on IG, tagging me at Khewela. That is Khewella. Khewela. That is my goddess wear brand, my Instagram page. I would love to know what your takeaway was, or something you found inspirational, or a confirmation you believe in as well. That would make my day. And you can always DM me if you have a topic or a certain question in mind that you want me to talk about. And give me a 5-star rating if you feel like it. That would help this podcast immensely to get the word out. I love you. See you on the next one. I want to see you shine your brightest.